In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with a Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast. It's a bit of a quiet one today. It's actually beginning to feel a lot like Christmas because outside on the street, there is a public holiday and things are very quiet. It was almost like, yes, like Christmas Day out there. So well done, Portugal, starting the festive season. And yes, truly now, the 1st of December, welcome to December, everybody. Truly the festive season has begun now. No further harm to elves. Should anybody mention Christmas, it's safe to do so. And I'm so delighted to launch this morning Light Up Christmas 2023. Now, do you remember? This came about, I think, the year before last, during the pandemic time. Remember that? When there were thoughts of cancelling Christmas. Wasn't that awful? Wasn't that truly, truly awful? And we thought, no. The spirit of Christmas must prevail in these hideous times. Back then, that was. You remember, don't you? I don't want to take you back there. I don't want you to re-traumatize you with all that stuff. But I'm taking you back there. I'm mentioning it because we said, no, we will light up Christmas. We'll make little videos of what's going on around Portugal and the world. In fact, people were sending in Christmas videos from around the world, and it was very important to us to send out a message from Portugal that we are celebrating Christmas cheer, the spirit of Christmas. You know, whether you're a Christian, whatever your religion, the important thing about Christmas, I think, and I believe many of the Gumpers here agree with me, it's the spirit of Christmas that's important, and it was so important not to have that extinguished. And so we did it last year, and we're doing it this year. And it's evolved into an advent calendar, as you can see on our homepage. If you go there, Light Up Christmas, the blue and the yellow of the blue sky and the sunshine of Portugal has been replaced with a dark night lit by a moon. Light Up Christmas. Please send in your Christmas and festive footage to me, which John has already done. John was really quick off the mark to celebrate Christmas, so we had to hold him back. And his is the first premiered video at 8 o'clock this morning on the Good Morning Portugal homepage. So thank you so much, John and Pam Donald. Owen's in the video as well. You saw Owen, of course, yesterday. And that I will play before 9 o'clock this morning. We'll have Savika Anna join us at around 9. Bobby O'Reilly's here at 9:30. The Englishman, the Irishman, and the Portuguese woman this morning here on the Good Morning Portugal show. 1st of December. Feel Good Friday vibes. And it was Bobby's birthday, incidentally, yesterday. So when he joins us at 9:30, how about we wish him a nice belated happy birthday. I suspect the celebrations will continue. We'll be meeting up for more filming in Coimbra at the Discovery Weekend on the 9th and 10th of December. So it's really, these come toward us, come at us very quickly. It's like, oh, it's ages away. Oh my God, it's only 8 days away. We'll be in Coimbra and we'll be filming some more. So I suspect we'll be continuing Bobby's birthday celebrations then. So there it is on the homepage. The Advent calendar for 2023. We'll be counting down to Christmas. You see that 24 little squares there. Each of those will be replaced by a Gumper video from somebody or an organization in the Gumper community. If you want to send your footage, I'll knit together the video and I'll show you how it works when we play John and Pam's video before 9 o'clock this morning. So really looking forward to receiving your footage and opening a window each day as we light up Christmas 2023. Right, who's in this morning? Let's have a look. Shall we? The three wise men of the Gumpocalypse, of course. Coach Turner was in at 7:49. I was up early this morning doing the advent calendar. Got up just after 6. It was lovely. And I took the dogs out this morning not long ago, and it was really peeing down at around 6. Me and Mrs. M looked at each other and like, oh my goodness, is the ark ready to put these cats and dogs aboard and sail off into the flood? It was torrential this morning. However, fingers crossed now, there is some blue sky. The clouds are moving away, and fingers crossed for all the events that are happening today and this weekend, most notably for me here on the Silver Coast, the beer festival, which starts today and continues tomorrow. Looking forward to going along to that and talking to a few of the craft beer manufacturers, hearing some great music and eating some awesome food as well there at the Silver Coast Beer Festival. Let us know what you're up to this weekend. We've got a few highlights from Bairrada, certainly from Bairrandi today to get the party started in the country. And I think a lot of people will be celebrating independence from Spain today. That's what Restoration Day is all about. And there is a post up at GMP VIP. If I've got time, I'll come back to that and give you a bit more of the background and history on Restoration Day. Every 1st of December, though, you're going to get a public holiday here in Portugal. A little bit inconvenient as people scrabble and panic to cross the line to qualify for the NHI. It was really quite the atmosphere last night on the webinar and the Dream Team session. I understand that people are quite fraught and anxious about the situation, not just because of the NHR, but because of the change from CEF to IMA. We're coming up to the end of the year. It's a perfect storm for anxiety-causing challenges, really, at this time of year, and this time in Portugal's history, with the transition, with what's going on with the government. There's a lot going on, and it was a little bit tense last night, and we did our very best to help people. A great job, Dream Team. See you again next Thursday evening. And of course, the Expats Portugal Christmas party has been announced. The last Thursday before Christmas. What's that going to be? We are December the 1st now, of course. So the 21st will be the Christmas party with Jerry Lawler's legendary Christmas quiz. So looking forward to being the quiz master. Jerry writes it, puts it on the tee, and I smack it down the fairway. So we'll have a lot of fun that night. And he's offered to play guitar behind my recital of my love poem to Portugal. Trouble is, it's only it's like a 5. Is it? Yeah. It's only 5 lines long, so it's not. It's going to be quite a lot of build up, not much climax. Who doesn't like that first thing in the morning? Okay, let's see who's here. Very nearly went to the chat. Got distracted. Morning, Coach Turner. How are you? Bon dia todos. And now the end is near of the week anyway. Thank God for that. A sad day yesterday, wasn't it, for RIPs as well? We lost Shane McGowan, didn't we, in the last couple of days? 65 years of age. In many ways, it's incredible he made it to 65, right? But still a tragic loss and a young age by modern standards, that. So Shane McGowan, and I'm sure he will, he won't enjoy the Christmas #1. His record company will, but he will be honoured, won't he? Of course, that's a surefire Christmas #1, isn't it? The Fairy Tale of New York with Kirsty MacColl and Shane McGowan. So R.I.P. Shane. And Sticky Vicky, who I'd never heard of, who was a dancer, I think. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. Her name wasn't Lola. Her name was Sticky Vicky. And she was very popular in Benidorm. Lost her as well as some other notables from politics as well yesterday. And certainly near for them. Feliz Sexta, putting the sex in Sexta-feira today. Welcome aboard the Good Morning Portugal show as we light up Christmas 2023. God Squad tip of the day then from the coach. We've been looking this week at a set of exercises that will go a long way to improving our health. 30 minutes of walking each day and 5 minutes each of legs, arms and core twice. Hold on a minute. 5 minutes each of legs, arms and core twice. Does that mean 10 minutes on each of those? Or I think I need a little bit more of an explanation. I'm well up for it. I've got to tell you that, Coach Turner. And I think, yeah, definitely doing the 30 minutes of walking. And I would like to have a leg day, an arm day, and a core day. And I was going to say a boob day. Yes, every day. But that's just me. The only addition to that, Your leg man, an arm man, or a core man. The only addition to that would be to make one of the walks include a little more speed. Not that sort. Just push yourself a bit harder matron, for 20 to 30 seconds. So you start to have to breathe deeply. You'll feel better afterwards. Thank you very much. Where's T-Duck? Oh, here he is. Good morning, Coach. Thank you for those, Ian, Coach Turner. Good morning, Coach. I saw a gymnast walk into a bar. She got a 2-point deduction and was removed from the competition. Stop it. Okay, James was in as well. At when was that? 2 minutes past 8. Bom dia, campus. Feliz sexta a todos. He too put in sex in sexta-feira. I'm gonna have to leave a bit early. Headed to the Festa da Cerveja em Óbidos. Excellent, brilliant. Hope to see some of you there. Absolutely, good stuff. I was thinking, is it going to be Friday or Saturday for me? Is it going to be both? We shall see how that turns out. So you're going to be there today, James. That changes things. I might have to pop up there and make an appearance both days, and decide later which will be the longer of those visits. Fortunately, got friends who live up there, so maybe be able to crash out on their sofa too. Excellent stuff. See you up there. Bon dia, alegria, campers, from T-Duck at 8:07. Then with a deep thought. Deep thought, change of atmosphere. Dr. Seuss is back with a deep thought. When at last we are sure you've been properly pilled, then a few paper forms must be properly filled so that you and your heirs may be properly billed. I didn't know Dr. Seuss wrote commentaries on the American medical system as well. For books that Geisel wrote and others illustrated, he used the pen name Theo Lazig, starting with I Wish That I Had Duck Feet, published in 1965. My goodness. Lazig is Geisel, spelled backward, of course. Very good. Ever playful, Dr. Seuss there. Thank you very much for that. Portuguese saying of the day. These will all go into the GMP VIP depositorium. Portuguese saying then for December from Borda d'Água. O verdadeiro almanac não há ano afinal que não tenha o seu Natal. There is no year, after all, that doesn't have its Christmas. Yes, long may it continue. Christmas cheer right here, Christmas spirit right here on the Good Morning Portugal, all the way through until Christmas Eve with your festive footage, please. The lies we tell our kids, I think we'll come back to those when we have Bobby on the screen. And he loves a dad joke. He knows he loves a dad joke. It's not always obvious on his face, but definitely saving those to share with him. João de Nort, whose video we will premiere and play this morning to kick us off with the Advent videos, is here. Bom dia, alegria a todos. Feliz Dezembro. By Randy, the aforementioned, also here. Olá, Malta. Bom feriado. A lovely, bright start to the day. Yeah, it's looking that way now here. It wasn't an hour ago, I've got to tell you. And it's 17, no, sorry. It is, yeah, 17, nearly 18 degrees inside the studio, and a mere 13. When I start the webinar on a Thursday night, I ask people how they're doing and what their weather's like. It always makes me feel better. If I'm feeling a little bit sad about I don't do it for that reason. It's a nice way of connecting with people around the world, asking about the weather. I'm British, you see. You always do that. How's your weather? And 5 inches of snow in New Mexico, cold and wet cold and dry in Wales last night, Peda said. And it was cold and wet in UK as well. So, yeah, pretty chilly. And in Calgary as well, we had somebody in Calgary too. We had the best of it. You wouldn't have thought as I was looking out the window, but yes, I think the good weather's coming that was promised for this weekend, right? Looking out the window here. That's why I keep looking out the window that way. Okay. Pamela's here. Bon dia to you. It's the Christmas parade here in Alcobaça, if rain doesn't stop playing. Now, the rain has caused trouble, hasn't it, in Óbidos? Not at the beer festival, but in the town. I think they had a bit of a problem with power and the internet. Went to a great Christmas fair myself yesterday, organised by our friend Jacqueline Branco. That was this one. Good job, NVC, the local fundraisers and those folks who do good things in this area. Christmas market, that was yesterday. Very good. Mrs. M enjoyed that. I got in there, sat down at the little cafe, the impromptu field cafe. Had a cup of tea because there were a lot of Brits there. There was Yorkshire tea available. And I saw on the counter, those look a lot to me like Atelier de Dos Bolosh there, and a Bolo de Berlin. And yes, they were tangerine flavor I had, and had a hyperglycemic episode on the way back to the car. So sweet, so lovely. The best Bolo de Berlin, Bolosh de Berlin in the whole country. So, and that's all I did. I got there, sat down at the table, had a cup of tea and a donut, started chatting to the lady next to me, whose name I didn't get, but it was lovely to talk to her. Oh, and saw you, Darlene, and your lovely daughter yesterday as well. Good to see you. And a lovely Irishman who walked in and said, hello there. Where are you from? And shook my hand as if we were long lost cousins. And we had a great chat. He said, I'm Irish. And I said, do you know what? I thought you might be. And we had a lovely little exchange as well. And then he wandered up to Mrs. M. I think I had a hug with Mrs. M. Really lovely Christmas spirit, Christmas cheer, kicking in over this way in Tornada, not far from Caldas de Reina on the Silver Coast here. So Alcobaça then, Christmas parade. Thank you for that update. That'll be real pretty. We were there last year, weren't we? That was really good. Was it last year? I think it was last year when Mrs. M. I said, can you try the ginger here? I'm going to make a little video. I think that was our advent calendar video, her trying the ginger. I looked away for a moment and it was gone, including the chocolate cup. I said, well, did you drop it? No, I just drank the lot, just sunk it. I think we'll go back and do some more of that. So have a ginger for us, or a ginginha over there, Pam. Have a great Christmas parade in Alcobaça. Matty's in. Bom dia, Alegria. A Torres de Pombal com muito chuva. So very heavy rains over there in Pombal, chuvosa over there right now, agora. Hola, bom fim de semana from Aviva in Madeira. And happy Independence Day from Amy and Greg. Great to see you two here. Amy, I need to get in touch with you. You might like what I've done. You might not, but I think you might. Following on from a conversation we had like 2 Discovery weekends ago. Maybe we'll see you in Coimbra. I hope so. Happy Independence Day to you. Igualmente. Sorry, ran out of characters. I meant doing 5 minutes of each twice a week. Okay, so if you do legs, arms, and core, we could be on a 3-day cycle, couldn't we? We should have a rest day as well, though, right? To Coach Turner. Okay, that's good. Understood now. So do your a leg day, maybe an arm day and a core day, 10 minutes of each, 5 minutes of each twice a week. Thank you very much for that, clarifying that. Tony time, everybody, watch out. Bon dia alegria. Tony has been Antonio Barbosa, to give him his full name on the screen here, in due respect, has been very busy over at GMP VIP with a lot of excellent contributions, including elaborating a little on the NHR situation. Thanks for doing that. You can see that, and you can also hear it because I read it out and popped it into our news and information podcast. Greetings from a sunny Minho, says Antonio, wishing you all a happy Friday and a wonderful weekend. Remember, Portugal remains golden, visa or not, NHR or not. So don't come if you don't want to fall in love. Well said. And some hearts from T-Duck to you, Tony, there, based on your comments, I'm sure. I was amazed to find a pre-Christmas store at the mall. It was not what I expected. Prenatal. Very good. We are into the perinatal period now, I think. Joël Denort, very good. And Pam, pity that Christmas market was on a Thursday, my busiest day, or I would have gone to. It was really busy. I thought the rain would have put people off, but rain doesn't put Brits off. A lot of Brits there yesterday. It doesn't. It's like water off a duck's back in it to a Brit, and especially the Irish as well, of course, who just seem to be waterproof, don't they? They need to be where they come from. Excellent stuff. Thank you for all your comments there. And yes, at this time of year, my opening meme this morning. Oh, I've got another fashion tip for you. You know how we like to touch in, especially to male fashion. Touching male fashion. That probably wasn't the best verb to use, was it? We like to check in. We like to report on male fashion. I've got something brilliant for you in just a moment. This was the opening meme this morning, the meme du jour. At this time of course, the big Christian festival of Christmas, we look to see here on the screen that the PDF is actually becoming the 4th most popular religion. How do I convert to PDF? I'm not entirely sure how you do that. I suppose in this age, it can all be done at the touch of a button, like everything else. Right, male fashion then. Mrs. M has joined us, as I can see. She's got a very interesting show at 10 this morning. Morning, lovely people, she says. Can you see me in this outfit on the screen here, Mrs. M? See you at 10. If you want to put a bit more detail about your upcoming show at 10 onto the screen, please do so. We've got Savvy Cat Anna joining us at 9 this morning. Bobby O'Reilly, who just celebrated his birthday yesterday, joining us at 9:30. And maybe this is what I can get Bobby for his birthday present when I see him. This is from a catwalk, as you can see somewhere around the world. I think this is this season. And this has been inspired by the outfits of Portuguese people that they wear at home during the winter months. If that's why you don't often get an invitation to a Portuguese home, especially in the winter months, is because it's quite hard for them to move around and make you a cup of coffee when they are wrapped up in this way. I can see us both, says Mrs. M, in that fashion, maybe cuddled up together. But my guess here is that a fashion designer was on holiday in Portugal one winter, came to stay with a relative maybe, and then looked around one morning, as they said, hola, bon dia, and saw them wrapped up like that and said, well, that's it. That is the look. I am making some notes, doing some sketches, and that is the look for the catwalk for winter season 2023. Rather good. Those are Ryanair passengers trying to save on luggage costs. Do you or don't you want to be sat next to those people on the plane? Excellent, very good, Pam. And that is exactly how I sleep at night. How very Portuguese of you, T-Duck. Isn't that brilliant? It's a never-ending source of mirth and merriment for us, isn't it? Looking at male fashion, or the extreme end. Good morning, Pam. Yes, top joke of the morning goes to Pam so far. That is, we've still got Bobby O'Reilly to come and some dad jokes from T-Duck. Excellent, Pam. Okay, they'll find a way though. But Ryanair will give you a male fashion surcharge, I think, on that. Okay, back to the homepage then. If you weren't here earlier on, we have started to light up Christmas for 2023. We are doing another video advent calendar. And we take your footage. We gratefully receive your Christmas festive footage, not just from Portugal. You know, you might not be here yet. We've had footage from all around the world, from the Middle East, from the United States, of course. Let's see how far we can go with getting footage from around the world as we light up Christmas and make sure that we connect with the spirit of Christmas here on the Good Morning Portugal show with all you lovely gumpers. Send it in, and you can be one of these numbers here. 22 is already taken. But what would help me really is if you send in your footage for tomorrow so that I can make a video for tomorrow. Just footage of your local Principio, your nativity lights, you know, your festive lights, the opening. If you're there when the lights are switched on, even better. And we'll make a little video and we'll count our way towards Christmas Day with our video advent calendar. And they will be up on the YouTube channel as well. João de Nortz, it premiered this morning. John and Pam, you'll see Owen in this video as well. So let's premiere it here on the show this morning. It's already gone out live on the YouTube channel. Here it is live on the show now. Thank you so much. So thoughtful, João de Nortz. And you were very keen to get your Christmas footage to me. I think you really love Christmas, John. It really comes across that you do. So does your cat, as we'll see in this video. Little cat face is already having some festive fun too. So over to you, João de Nortz. See if you can spot Owen in here as well. Thanks, John. Thanks, Pam. And thank you, Vigo, where this was filmed.
Surfboard. The elves were happy to be gone from the cold, snowy north. A reindeer riding waves in their finest beach gear. We're all enjoying Christmas cheer. Oh, the family all together tasting all the treats. But the favorite is always some of my grandma's sweets. The lights are twinkling everywhere that we go, and we're all out dancing in the street. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, all you gumpers.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Thank you so much, John. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, Owen, who was in there as well. And thanks, little cat face at the end there. So get your footage in. You can send it to me on WhatsApp, 913-590-303. That's absolutely superb. And that's how we're counting down to Christmas Day and lighting up Christmas here on the Good Morning Portugal show. And before Anna gets here, let's have a look at a few of the things that are coming up this weekend then. We've got the wonderful VRSA Principio Gigante. I think it's the biggest in Portugal, and that starts today and goes on till the 7th of January. That came up in conversation last night, actually. What's the right time to start putting up your decorations and taking them down in Portugal? Day after 12th night, the Festa or the Feira dos Reis, the King's Festival. That's around the same time as 12th night, isn't it? 7th of January, anyway, is when the decks come down, and it's safe now to put them up, so no further harm will come to any elves. Thank you for Anna in VRSA for sending us that. So at the Centro Cultural Antonio Alejo, that's happening from today. Excellent stuff. Beer Festival, of course, just above Obidos that we'll be going to this weekend. Let's see what else is happening up there in the Bairrada, and all of these can be found on the Gumper map. It's another festival of soups, everybody, today. Loads of soups and stews, €10 for all you can eat. Some hearty winter food. What is it that tastes really good on a cold night? That's it, a soup, says Bairrandi. The tradition lives on, and the soups are back. The soups and the best bifaninhas, I think he's saying. They're not just bifanas, but bifaninhas. We will light up the Christmas lights together. So there's a possible opportunity for getting some festive footage over to us here at GMP. Thank you, Andy, for that one. And Christmas and New Year in Oliveira do Bairro. That looks like it's kicking off today as well. Yes, it is. 1st of December through to the 7th. That's how we roll, isn't it, here in Portugal? It really starts now, the 1st of December, and things will go on until the 7th of January as we go into 2024. Ice rink there in Oliveira do Bairro. Moving on to Aveiro then. What's happening in Aveiro from today to January the 15th? Breaking with tradition, celebrating Christmas, New Year's Eve, and the festival of São Gonçalinho. Aveiro invites you to come and enjoy our fantastic street lighting. Bairrandi, you've done us proud again here. This is wonderful. All these excellent events that are going up there. Further up north in Portugal, our fantastic street lighting, the fabulous Aveiro Christmas tree in Fonte Nova. Watch fascinating video mapping shows. So some of that going on. Exhibition, street entertainment and concerts. The Christmas markets and the typical flavors of Aveiro. Some ovos molos in a Christmas style there. The Festival of the Sea, party at Praia da Mira on the Silver Coast. So a little bit further south, coming back towards here, we'll claim Mira on the Silver Coast. Loads going on at this 2-week-long party at the fantastic beachside town of Mira, a hidden gem of Portugal. Cheap accommodation at this time of year. Good shout on that. So a Festival of the Sea, that'll be really atmospheric there, won't it? Looking out of the Atlantic at Christmas time. Superb. Mira, M-I-R-A. For those of you listening on the podcast, Festa de Santo André in Oix do Bairro. That's one of those lovely posters, isn't it? That's been made by somebody in the community there in Oix do Bairro. Love those sorts of posters. Multicolored. Sábado and Domingo. That's happening this weekend. Then tomorrow and Sunday. The Saint Andre Festival there. We go to a festival lunch staying in the Bairrada and a lunch at the Fat Farm and Quinta do Gordo. Sounds nicer in Portuguese, doesn't it? Quinta do Gordo. Best Portuguese roast chanfana, €15. Mixed grill, €13. That sounds like it's right up Andy's street. That does. Come enjoy good food. Do you take your own HP sauce to that? For the mixed grill there, Andy. Come enjoy good food, good company, and help us make this event a memorable one. We count on your presence and support. Please be advised that the bar will be open all afternoon. All right, yep, we're in. And we're going to Samel now in Bairrada as well. Another one of those cracking local posters there. That is a lovely village and always put on a great party. Andy knows all of these parties intimately. Well, he knows the beginning of them, doesn't always remember the end of the parties in these lovely little villages and towns of the Bairrada district. 80s and 90s party. How about that? If you want to dance like it's and party like it's 1999 or even any time in the 80s, and you're glad that no one really knows you, so you can really let your hair down. Look at that as a cassette on that poster, and some cracking 80s graphics. I've got to say that those style of 80s graphics are what's remembered about the 80s. I don't remember seeing them so much in the 80s. I've seen more of them, of the graphics like that, since the 80s than during the 80s. But that's how it is with history, isn't it? Another evening of excellent music and great fun. Come join the party in Cantoneda, 80s and 90s party. That's on the Sunday, this coming weekend. Free traditional folk dancing. If the disco stuff is a bit much for you, and synths and sax, and you prefer something a bit more traditional, go to Febres in Cantoneda for some folkloric dancing. Oh, that reminds me, I must put your videos up, Pam, that you sent in into our depository of Portuguese culture as well. That's a nice little reminder. Thank you, Andy. So folkloric dancing there in Cantoneda as well, or near Febres. And there's a duck. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Sorry, T-Duck. That took you by surprise, possibly there. New Year's Eve party in Amoreira de Gandara in Bairrada. If you want to put that in your diary, €6. You get a seat at the table. Really? You get to eat and drink for €6. Live entertainment and a glass or two of bubbly. Oh, bring your own food. So you get a place at the table, and you get a couple of glasses of bubbly and some live entertainment. And you basically, it's a picnic at night. That's a great idea, isn't it? Good stuff. And finally then, Mama Rosa, Bairrada, 2024 is nearly here, and we have a party with the best of both worlds for you. Bring your own food and come and have fun with us. This is a good idea, isn't it? So it's like a picnic at night, a Parc de Merendas, a Christmas style, evening style. Bring your own food and come and have fun with us, locals and immigrants alike. DJ Luis will liven up the night, so there will be no shortage of good music and a great party atmosphere. It's in the Village Hall, the chosen location. Yes, the Village Hall of Mama Rosa. Price is €10 per person. Children up to 6. I've got a ticker tape in the way of that, so let me just stop that for a moment. Children up to 6 years old do not pay. Excellent. And each table is of up to 10 people, so that can be a really nice family do on New Year's Eve for you. Excellent stuff. Thank you so much, Andy. And of course, I put this on the Gumper map myself. Did I mention the beer festival that's happening this weekend on the Silver Coast, today and tomorrow? There it is, right there. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. She joins us now. Oh, hold on a minute. One more thing. Monday night, Espumante and Madeira, hosted by Michael and Catherine Whitby. Oh, must remember to get those. Got your package. Thank you so much. I haven't opened it yet. I'm just waiting for the right moment to open up that package to feel that spirit of Christmas, the Whitby. So thank you very much for your post. I think I'll open that today. Later on today, we picked it up from the post office yesterday. Feeling very festive. Espumante and Madeira this Monday evening at 8 o'clock. Make sure you join us if you're interested in Portuguese booze. Savvy Cat Anna is here, everybody. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. And bring her onto the screen. Hola, bon dia.
Bon dia, Carl.
Hello. And it's December, isn't it? It's Friday. Feel Good Friday.
Yes, it's the 1st of December, end of the year. It's been a very tribulated year for me.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? With one thing and another. Oh, my goodness. How are you?
I'm surviving.
Oh, is that good, huh?
Well, I guess. But I have a much more positive overview now, mostly because I got myself a plan for changing a bit of my company position and try to get to a different market. But this time I'm actually going to have an investor involved, so I can't go too big on the details because,
Ooh.
But I'm looking forward to that. And although I'm definitely not looking forward for the whole chaos the government is causing, Portugal still has a lot of positive things. And the theme you gave me, it did make me think a lot. Like, thing is, up until I was a business owner, I actually was one of those persons that, sure, I went to vote, but the government didn't really affect me that much. And, it was just people that were there, and people mostly complained about it. But now that I'm a business owner, it definitely affects me directly a lot. But that's not the case for most people. And the whole NHR situation. They actually released something new on the 27th, but I haven't looked into it on detail on how exactly the new announcements were. But overall, it's still possible for both foreign expats and European Union expats to come to Portugal and still have the 10 years NHR as long as they get things moving until the end of the year. And that may be a rush to a lot of people. I've been having quite a few calls
You're not
lately
kidding.
of people just panicking. Do I still make it?
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is fair, right? They did make it a very small timeline. But
Yeah, they've caused a panic. They've caused an absolute panic, and under certain conditions, it is still possible in this transitionary period, and it's still quite confusing because there's this condition, isn't there, of like if you'd showed it, if you declared your interest in moving to Portugal this year, you could qualify as well. But the details of that haven't been clarified. So yeah, more
I
chaos.
think even the government doesn't exactly know what they are. So
No, surely not.
But yeah, hopefully things get a bit more sorted out.
Yeah.
But yeah, government wise, I am not too positive on things, but the rest of the things that brought people to Portugal, they still are here, right? So we still have an amazing
Of
climate,
course.
one of the
Yes.
safest countries, very good quality of life, amazing
Yeah.
food, amazing quality food products in general. And those things are not going to change. So it's just a matter of people just studying if their pros are still higher than the cons.
Well said. Very practical. That's the way to deal with the kind of emotional atmosphere that's been created by the government. And this is what politicians do, isn't it? And what governments do. They tend to, whether they do it on purpose or not, I will not comment. But certainly the result seems to be that they get people stirred up. And it doesn't put people in the most peaceful or resourceful state. So well said, calling it, bringing us back to practical matters. Weigh up the pros and cons. Take a breath, let things calm down. And as Antonio is saying here, Portugal remains golden, visa or not, and NHR or not. So don't come if you want to fall in love. If you don't want to fall in love with Portugal, because you still will. There are so many things, as Anna has just mentioned there, to fall in love with. And it's all relative, isn't it? It's not like you're choosing a utopia, because that doesn't exist in reality, does it? You've got to choose a place that suits you
Yeah,
best.
the truth is, all my clients from everywhere, even when they are like from Sweden and Norway, that are those countries that everyone sees as the example when it
Yeah.
comes to political and social matters. But everyone has complaints about the government, every single one.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely. So, and that's my coincidentally is my piece in the Portugal Resident this week is about the Pareto principle. It's 80%. I think it's more than that actually. When you do the balance sheet, as you've suggested there, Anna, of the pros and the cons, it's 80% plus for Portugal still, despite this recent. Rather anxiety-provoking news, politically and with the NHR and so on, and it can feel very big, and it can really upset people, and understandably so. But then once you've got it back into perspective, if you look at a view of what you're doing and by moving to Portugal, I think you'll find the picture is pretty good.
yes, because overall, even if you are paying more taxes, if you are still having a lower cost of life than in your original country, you
Yeah.
still get a benefit.
Well, it depends, of course, which social class you're in and how you make money and at what level. But I don't think taxes are going down very much anywhere in the world, are they? I mean, they might be for some people in some niches, but generally speaking, the trend for taxation tends to be upward, and you've got to find a little place in the slipstream of life. And I think Portugal is still that. So, what else are you thinking for 2024? That was your assignment from me, wasn't it? It's like, let's look ahead.
Yeah,
To 24.
so
What else do you
like I
think?
said, I do have some interesting plans for next year, and I'm planning to launch something that hopefully will help a lot of people and allow me to be present in a much bigger way in the market. So right now I work with a very small branch of the market that is mostly people that are willing to pay for a whole relocation service.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people that are not, which is fair. So I am going to launch something it's going to be partially free and then partially subscription based on a much lower cost somewhere during next year that will allow people to have, of course, a much more optimized support, but to have support on their process at a much lower cost.
Excellent, really good. So I hope we'll be the first to know about it when it is formal and launching, and you must come back and tell us about that. So good for you, ever the innovator, an entrepreneur. I mean,
That's the thing. I've been in Web Summit a few weeks ago.
How was that?
And it's this huge thing where 60,000 people come to Lisbon.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of people is overwhelming, absolutely, and it really is. Like, it has 5 pavilions. It occupies like a third of the whole expo area. And it's just people everywhere from all over the world come to this tech event in Portugal. And yeah, it kind of really puts things into perspective.
Oh, so it's quite inspiring for you. It sounds like it was the first time you'd been.
Yes, actually, last year I just went to Lisbon around that time, but I didn't realize, I didn't remember it existed until like a week before. So the tickets were ridiculously expensive, like 1,500 euros or something.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy them, but I bought them last year after the event at half price. So I went this year.
Incredible. And what were the highlights for you? I have been, and it's like one of those things where it's good to go at least once, isn't it, to see the scale of it, because you get a sense from the numbers that the Web Summit put out. So many people coming from all over the world, so many exhibitors, so many punters who are going along, so many projects launched, this sort of thing. But seeing is believing. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? The scale of it. What stood out for you? Did you see anything there that was particularly inspiring?
I think in general, it's very worth it for anyone on the tech industry. I mean, even if it's people looking for jobs, there are so many companies recruiting there, and growing companies and tech areas, and a lot of them work from home. The whole tech thing that you can just do it on the computer.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring to see the innovation. This year it was very much about AI and how it's going to revolutionize the market.
Yeah.
I that's already happening, the whole AI revolution, and things being replaced by AI, and the panic of, is AI going to take my job? I personally don't believe that. Well, of course, it's taking some jobs already, and in some things like the arts community, and how Mid-Journey and those kinds of softwares are just creating art based on inputs and copying work not really authorized. So it's already creating a lot, and I see, especially in the arts community, I see a lot of people just complaining, and rightfully complaining, of how much the AI is taking back their jobs, and small artists. It's affecting mostly small artists, because established artists, they already have a big audience and a big public and people who values their art. But the newer artists and people who are getting newly established and don't really have that market trust yet, it's very hard. It's going to be a lot harder for small artists to get into the market and get established, because you can get pretty decent art out of a generator software like Mid-Journey at a really low cost. So it costs like cents. I think you pay, I don't know, like 15 euros to get 1,000 generations, something like that. So in that way, I think it's going to affect markets in similar ways. So low speciality and people that are at the beginning of the work, it can go two ways.
Yeah.
So people can use it as a tool in order to get more specialized and accelerate their learning curve. or it can just completely take them down because it's very
Yeah.
much harder to get monetized in that way.
What an exciting time to be at Web Summit then, when all talk is about artificial intelligence. I was having a quick chat with Louisa, Mrs. M, this morning about Chat GPT, and I could see how, I mean, it feels like it's come suddenly from nowhere, and everyone's using these tools now. I haven't yet. I guess I'm using them without knowing it consciously, because it is the kind of backbone of a lot of software now. So I will be using it, but not knowing it. She's been using it sort of consciously, if you like, and getting some help from and suggestions from Chat GPT. And I feel like I did when I saw CDs come out for the first time. It took a long time for me to convert to CDs and then to MP3s. And, I'm not an early adopter of technology, generally speaking. And it really, the potential of it hit me this morning, actually, in how much it can do for us. And in many ways, we should embrace that, because what I was just thought when you were talking there, and the concerns about artists who feel like they might be replaced by computer generation, is like, well, there is a problem, isn't there, that us humans have become so mechanical that machines can copy us. So what we then need to do is be more human, because that is essentially the difference,
Yeah,
isn't
but
it?
that's the very big discussion on the art community, because not everyone agrees with me. But my view on it is that basically, the AI software is a generative software, so it's you get input a bunch of data and it
Yeah.
learns from that data, right? So in case of artists, it gets shown a bunch of art from different artists. And in software like Midjourney, this actually was a whole polemic because this art was inputted without the authorization of the original artists. So basically, they trained this software on specific artists, and they basically put almost all the portfolio of certain very well known and very good artists into the software for it to learn from it. And the way that it works, it's a bit different than the way that a human works. So it will basically use the techniques that it learns from those artists and apply them with just, changing colors or changing certain shapes, but it doesn't create new techniques.
Mm.
So it is much more of a copy than it would be if it was a human. Like a human, it can look at an art piece and take inspiration for it, but create a completely different piece. And
Yes.
in AI, it's not exactly like that. It will take elements that it learned from that piece and it can mix it up with other elements, but it won't create a new element. And it will just be based on the input that you put.
Yeah.
So, in that way, I think it can be interesting when you are looking for specific uh, scenarios, but it will never replace an artist. But like I was saying, it's going to make things very, very hard from new artists.
Understood. And in a way, from that challenge can come some greatness, can't it? I mean, if you're an artist whose work can be copied, which it always has been, hasn't it, one way or another? I guess arguably you can just copy it faster and reproduce it more cheaply now. That's what modernity and mass production has brought us. But it says something about us, doesn't it? I mean, the process you described there to me is a dead one. It's like, it's mechanical. I'm not saying it's bad, but
Yeah,
it's not alive, is it? It's not creative. It's not genuinely creative. It's like
yeah.
just copying stuff. It's the past. It's dead. And
Mhm.
it may be this whole episode of artificial intelligence and our presumed battle with the machines is to see how we're so different from the machines, or can be,
That's the
or to
thing,
see.
that the machines are very good at technical and systemized work,
Yes,
something that you can put into systems, and they will probably become much better than humans at
yes,
that
yeah,
because they don't make mistakes. But
absolutely.
they will never take the creative sides and the problem solving sides of things in the same way as humans do. And the
Yeah,
same thing applies for ChatGPT. I mean, ChatGPT can be super useful, and even my marketing team uses it sometimes to get some ideas for
yeah.
campaign text and so on. And for example, even to write an article, it can make your work a lot faster. Like you tell it what you want, and then you just go in and make the adjustments for it to be, more human.
Yeah.
And the problem in the case of ChatGPT is that it doesn't really check sources, so it can give you very false information, and it's people has to be careful with that. So lots of people take ChatGPT as, Google, and well, it is a bit like Google and being ever right every time, but no, it can give you absolute gibberish but sounding like it's not gibberish. And
Yes.
if you don't know how to tell the difference, it can be a problem.
And therein lies the magic, because us human beings need to learn how to, or relearn, or remember how to tell the difference. If you can't tell the difference between a machine and a human being, something's gone horribly wrong, I
But
would say.
that's actually a very hard thing more and more. If you ever work with ChatGPT and generative AI now, when it comes to basic conversations, it is harder and harder to tell if you are talking to a machine or a human being, because it's learning from human
I
beings, and
understand that.
even the speech and so on.
Yes.
So if you are behind the screen, then there's actually tests being done of that.
I would do those tests.
And
I want to do those tests, Anne. I want to be tested.
you'll have to search who's doing that, but I've seen like statistics and so on, and more it's getting harder and harder to distinguish
Yes.
the human from the machine when it
Sure.
comes to being on a screen, at least.
And that tells us something about what humans have become. See, my theory, based on what you've just said there, is humans have become really boring and mechanical and unspontaneous. And that's why you can't tell the difference. It's not that machines have got better, it's that humans have got worse, if you
I
like.
think it can go both ways.
Exactly. And if you think about dating, the dating thing with
Yes.
with AI, if you're having a conversation with a machine, there's something going there's something gone wrong already if you're at that stage. I'm not knocking it. I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. And but this is
But
what we.
I mean, in the dating world, even the humans are terrible.
Well, yes, that can happen as well. But this is always an opportunity to raise our game and to remember things and to become more alive and more lifelike and more creative. And, I would suggest that is the great opportunity with this AI thing. It's helping us to be less mechanical. Let's have the machines do the mechanical
Yes.
stuff and do it
Yeah,
really well.
and it's
do it
very much
actually-
about that. To get humans
Yes.
to be more specialized and
Yes.
less mechanical tasks.
Yes, absolutely. And come back to life and be more.
Another very interesting point that was made at our Web Summit that I really liked was how in the past technological revolutions in general, even though this has been a fear in the past, the whole machines are taking our job, industrialization and everything.
Yes.
But overall, this revolution's created more jobs, and it's probably going to be the same with AI. There are just going to be different jobs.
Yeah. You see, and that's the interesting thing, isn't it, with jobs? Is like one day you'll hear someone talking about work and jobs, and it'll be like, "Ugh, I'm exhausted by my job. Why are we in this system where we have to exhaust ourselves, and our badge of honor in life is exhaustion, nervous breakdowns, mental breakdowns, stress, anxiety, just to pay my
And
mortgage."
that's just a big thing when it comes to business owning and so on. And it's the whole hustle culture. Like, if you are not working all the time, you are lazy. And that
Exactly.
whole mentality, I mean, no.
But then the technology comes along, Anna, and says, "Well, okay, we hear you. We hear you. We're gonna help you wind it in a bit and relax a bit, and the machines are gonna do more of your work. Don't you dare take my job away." That's what. I'm really attached to my stress and exhaustion. How very dare you? I've defined myself as a human being in this way. I will not have it taken away from me.
But
We've
that's actually very much the case for a lot of people.
Of course it is. Of course it is. God bless them. God bless them. Right. It is the culture that we perhaps, hopefully, are moving away from. And maybe AI that has that gift that it's bringing with it to help us do that. Now, we've got some fantastic comments. We have some interesting information or communication from Mr. Bobby O'Reilly, who has sent me a message. He was celebrating his. I'll give you a bit of a background here. He's Irish. He knows how to party. It was his birthday yesterday.
Oh,
And I
really?
got
It was mine on Wednesday, so he makes his birthday is one day after mine.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday to you
Thank
both.
you.
Now, the difference between you and Bobby O'Reilly, Anna, is that Bobby is still drunk from his birthday.
I do have one more day to recover, though.
Oh, yeah, right. Fair enough. And he sent me a message a little while ago, which reveals that, and I don't know if I should be sharing this publicly, but he finished at 5 a.m. this morning.
Wow.
And he says he's still too drunk to join us. And my response to that was, well, perfect. See you at 9:30. So I hope he will be, because this could be fun if he's joining us in just a moment. We got a few comments. I mean, one of the best comments this morning is, can AI replace Seth or Ima? Let's come back to that after we've had a few.
That would be so good, actually.
Well, would it? I need to ask you.
I think the Portuguese public service need AI very urgently.
All right, we'll talk about that in detail in just a moment then. In a nutshell, on today's show, this is Mrs. M, why many people believe it's wrong to charge for spiritual skills and what we can do to heal this tension and move forwards. Embrace your worth. Join us at 10:05. I think that would be up your alley as well, wouldn't it, Anna? Hit the like button. Only 3 likes so far. Thank you for that reminder, Matty. Thanks for coming this morning. Loving the Xmas tune, Christmas tune. What a legend Warren Sharm is, which is the answer to Joao de Nort's question. Tell us who the Gumper voice, or the Hey Gumpers voice, that is Warren Sharm, and I think he'll be in the country soon. I'm looking forward to meeting him in real life to make sure he's not AI. What a lovely PDL family they all are. Yep, the people in our premiere video, our first video of the Advent videos this year, John, Pam, and Owen up there. Thank you so much for that vid, John. The right time for decorations in Portugal. Put them up before Halloween and sometimes never take them down ever. That's my experience of seeing Bosch festive towns signs all year round. That does happen, Mrs. M. What's your view on that, Anna? Right time
I personally prefer the Halloween decor, and I really hate it that people start with Christmas up before Halloween is done. But I think I love decor in general. Actually, just last week, because my birthday is usually very close to Black Friday. Black Friday is usually my splurging time of the year when I just go and buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
Because it's a good excuse. It's my birthday and there's discounts.
yes, absolutely right. Did you get any this year?
And I bought a bunch of decor this year. So
Oh, very good. Okay, for Christmas is this?
no, it's just things that I like.
interior decor.
Actually, I tend to like the more holistic and decor with
sort of
thematic
interior
stuff, like crystals and pentagrams and
Oh, okay, so
stuff
you've been
and
busy
that
online
kind of
with it.
thing. It's really much up my alley.
Very interesting. Okay. Some New Year parties are really expensive this year. There's a Bollywood themed one near us. That sounds like fun. What are the ticket prices for that? Oh, with the NHL, we've got this link. This is Antonio Barbosa's commentary. Thank you very much for that. And we've also made that into a podcast. I was speaking to some Americans at our meetup on Tuesday and asked why so many are leaving the US. They said, 1, the government, 2, safety, 3, healthcare costs. That pretty much sums it up for a lot of Americans, doesn't it? That fashion show is hilarious. No way you can even determine if joking about it would be fat shaming. Well, so everyone knows what we're talking about in case they didn't see it earlier on. This is the new look for the winter of 2023. And my suggestion with this, Anna, I don't know if you saw this earlier on, but what I thought with this is the fashion designer spent winter with some Portuguese friends. And that's how Portuguese people dress indoors in winter, isn't it? To keep warm. That look inspired by Portuguese domestic life, now on a catwalk near you. All right, let's go back to a few more comments before we welcome Bobby O'Reilly on, before he falls asleep in his chair, because he might still be a little bit boozy. Maybe we could have a blanket standing by in case he falls asleep mid-sentence. Maybe AI could replace Seth. I'm going to get both of you to talk about that when Bobby joins us. If an artist can be replaced by AI, which is not generating any new unique pieces, I wonder if that person was even an artist. Oh, Matty, controversial. Even humans are mostly not creative. We take what exists and change it, sometimes into something we've never had before. But even the new thing is informed by the past. Yes, good point. Emotion is the key difference between humans and technology, in my opinion, says James. And being lazy is underrated. Smash that like button. Please, if you could stop being lazy enough just to smash the like button, that would be great. And to truly create something is to bring something from nothing. Otherwise, it's really just changing, evolving something that already exists. And we wait for these truly creative, inspired moments, don't we? And I know you have them, Anna. I know Bobby has them as well. You are creative people, and that's what you bring to your businesses. I think that's the difference. The more that has already been created, the less can be. I think it's an infinite pool of creativity. Onward and upward, human beings. We have nothing to fear from AI. Let's bring Bobby O'Reilly on. He was partying until about 5 this morning. Let's see what sort of state he's in this morning. Keep the noise down, everyone. Oh. Morning, Bobby. Top of the morning. How are you? Happy belated birthday.
I haven't looked in the mirror.
You're looking great, considering.
Oh, God. No, I just thought
Never again.
fell out of bed.
Did you have a good birthday?
Unbelievable. I had
Good
3. Normally, people get like 1 birthday cake. I had 4, actually. 4.
All right. I'm going to bring you a box of donuts as well when I see you in
corporate.
Yeah.
Nice.
4 birthday cakes. What else have you been up to?
No, I have a lot of friends over from Ireland, sort of. They came over to help me celebrate. As you can hear from the voice, I was singing all night. Singing all about 5 o'clock this morning. So yeah, it was a bit of a party happened here yesterday.
Oh, so glad for you. So glad for you. Yeah. So celebrating a birthday party, and you've launched a new website. We were talking to you both, weren't we, before about how things can evolve and adapt, and how people can come to Portugal still and enjoy the great quality of life and many other features that Anna was talking about. You have this. I mean, is this the right time to talk about it, or would you just like to go and lie down now? Okay.
No, I'm like on auto drive, so I'm sure I can get through.
You are AI. You've nothing to fear from AI. You are like a machine yourself in this regard, aren't you? Keep working and keep coming up with those brilliant ideas.
No, we launched our new D2 visa website, and basically explains everything about the D2 and how it works, and sort of just takes people step by step. There's 12 steps. Sort of brings them through the 12 steps to get through the whole scenario. But tells them what's involved, but basically we take all the hassle out of it. So we've joined up with a law firm, an accountancy firm, and we have an administrational team that basically takes everything. So basically, if you decide you want to do it, they just take over. They tell you what to do, and they do your documents. Obviously, it's a little bit different than Golden Visa or even D7. There's an investment element involved and so on, and a business plan, etc. But they take over everything for you, and but all information is there. So it's D2 Visa or D2VisaPortugal.com.
Yep, got that.
Now that you have a sort of an ebook as well, it has all the information there as well.
Very good. I mean, there's a lot of information here on the screen, and like you say, you can download an ebook as well. It tells you everything that's required, and the context for this, I think, is very interesting because whilst people have been panicking about the Golden Visa, been panicking about the NHR, so much of the emphasis has been on how things are shrinking, and the benefits seem to be disappearing. You're approaching this as we might expect from an entrepreneurial and innovative point of view. You're looking at residency through investment. This isn't about retiring, is it, and having a quiet life and worrying about how far your money's going to go. This is for people who want to come here and invest in the country and create a residency for themselves in the process.
The rules are very, very similar with regards to D7 and the D2. The big difference is what you qualify, how you qualify. That's it. But the rules around the actual visa are the same. So in other words, how long you should stay here, etc. But the big difference, I suppose, with the D2 visa is that and this is why most people, like sort of investors, will do it, if you cannot stay in Portugal for, like, it's 2.5 months for commercial reasons, because you have to be out of the country, you don't have to. So once you can provide a good reason to say that, look, I can't stay and live in Portugal for 2.5 months, it gives them a get out of jail clause, if you like, so they don't have to. So, the big reason the Golden Visa was so successful was it was very non-intrusive into somebody's life. So they came, they did their investment, they went away, they came back 14 days every 2 years, which is why it was so successful, because not everybody wanted to actually, or was able to move here at that given time. D2 actually more or less is the same. Most people doing the D7 are moving here because they're moving here and they want to become tax residents, etc., and take advantage of the NHR and so on. The D2 is still basically down to gaining residency for family, because you can have complete family reunification as well through the D2 and the D7, of course, but through the D2 as well. So it's much cheaper than what the golden visa was. And actually, what we've tried to do is we've tried to take as much of the sort of lifting out of it, that the law firm takes care of everything, and it's much, much cheaper than what I think it's something like 9,000 euros for everything. And that includes all the taxes, fees, government fees, legal fees, accountancy, even for the first year, for the company set up, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's like a one-stop shop basically for people who decide to do it. My side of it really is the investing side of it. So what I've done is I've created either multiple purchase units, SPVs, special purpose vehicles for regards to people to invest into, typically doubling their equity over every 3 years.
Well, okay, excellent stuff. Lovely to hear that, and how exciting as well. While so much of the talk is about, what's going, what are we missing? Things are getting worse. Here we have an expanded view of moving to Portugal, getting involved in the economy and investing here. And those are the key benefits on the screen. Entrepreneurial opportunities for those who like that sort of thing. Investment in the Portuguese economy, very important. And people are still coming, right, Bobby? Despite how the government might be trying to put them off, they're still coming and they want to invest in this wonderful country. Yeah,
I hope to about 1,000 of them, like next year, to be honest. That's my target, is 1,000 D2s next year.
Wow, so, that's a lot of investment in the country.
With an average of investment, probably around 300,000 to 400,000.
Right. That should definitely get you a Christmas card from the new Prime Minister. You would think. You would think, whoever that's.
A plane ticket.
So investment in the economy. I love the cut of your jib here. The excitement and the vibrancy of this, rather than the worry and the anxiety that there's been so much of in the last few months. Residence in Portugal, of course, is part of it. Renewable status, family reunification. And you're not just getting Portugal, are you? You're getting access to the whole Schengen area. And that's an expanding pie as well. That's going to get bigger, not smaller, I think.
Well, I think actually that's why a lot of people did the golden visa. And the big difference between the D7 and the golden visa, say, slash D2, was the fact that the D7 are people who were looking to move to Portugal. Mm-hmm. The golden visa, I would say 90% of the people who did it did not actually particularly need to want to move to Portugal. They did it as a plan B, to give their family options, their kids options, mm-hmm. to get eventually a citizenship, a European citizenship that gave them access to Europe, not just Portugal, because they wanted better school or educational options compared to the world. They wanted better job options worldwide, because once you have a European passport, it not just opens up Europe, it opens up everything. It opens up the US, it opens up a lot more options than, say, if you had an Indian passport, for example. For sure. So I think most people did it to give options rather than they wanted to actually live here. So what they done was they left their money here, they invested here, and further investment in return, and following the rules, they eventually reach citizenship.
Yeah. Incredible. So are you 1,000 of these you're looking at, and with a fairly significant investment, that's going to be a big difference for the economy and the dynamics really of this culture and this society in this country. So
I'm actually very, very curious to see how the immigration trend goes, because up until this year it has been spiking like this, mm-hmm. and I don't know if it's going to go down. It may go stabilize, but I don't think it's going to go down, honestly.
Immigration across the world it's a thing. People are moving. What they're looking for is, what have you got to offer over somebody else? So, like, people seem to forget that, like, it's not just Portugal looking for immigrants. Everybody is looking for the investor, and there's investors looking for options. So Spain has them, Greece has them, Cyprus has them, Ireland have them, the UK have them. So everybody is looking for a particular type of investor or immigrant. And what they're looking for is either people who are well-trained, highly trained, well-educated, or people that have money and that they can invest into their economies, either by bringing and adding to the workforce or bringing and adding money to the economy. Yeah. So what I think we are very competitive in is that what we offer more than most places is, as like you said, security being the first thing. The climate, the lifestyle, the weather, the European passport is relatively easy after the 5 years of the residency, the family reunification. So I think we actually have one of the most attractive residency programs out there. And when the golden visa went away, everyone was sort of going, oh, Christ, what are we going to do now? But this D2 visa thing was here long before the golden visa. And
as its number suggests, right? It's D2, isn't it? It's the second of the visas, Yeah.
So we didn't. I never knew about it. I told you this before. I didn't know about it until the golden visa thing went away. And I had a friend who was doing it, and he was doing it quite successfully. So I said, "Yeah, that'll work for me, and it works for my clients." And and I started. The website only went live, I think, yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
You know what? It was on purpose.
Happy birthday, yes.
Well, not really, but I think it just ended up that way. But so we're starting off now. I'm going to Kuwait next week, and I've already got a big presentation organized in Kuwait. I was very surprised, actually. I was telling the guys that are doing my marketing, I'm going to Kuwait, and they're going, where? Never heard of Kuwait.
Have you been before?
Yeah.
And what's it like? What's Kuwait like? Really? You didn't enjoy it?
It's actually, there's nothing there. It's actually you can't drink, which is obviously a bad thing.
Oh no!
It's a dry state.
Okay.
So no, it's not one of the nicest places in the world to go to. But how do you say, they have a lot of entrepreneurial people from the Middle East who set up in Kuwait, because Kuwait actually is quite a rich country, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So they spend a lot of money. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs there. So I have already a base of entrepreneurs who have invested in Portugal already, and they're continuing to invest here. So that's why I'm going to Kuwait.
Amazing. We'll have a great time over there. Keen to hit. Clearly, if it's that bad, there are going to be a lot of people wanting to move to Portugal. So good for you.
Like 2 days, I'm out. I'm gone.
Right. In and out with the D2 presentation. Well, this is great. This is great. And more generally then, looking forward to the new year. You're wondering, Anna, what's going to happen with migration. Interestingly, Spain have slapped a massive tax on wealthy people. And you're absolutely right, Bobby. You know, migration is nothing new. 1 in 30 people, apparently, in any population is a migrant. You know, this is nothing new for human beings. It's quite dynamic at the moment. And whilst on the one hand, you know, there's this kind of dance, isn't there, of like Spain now slapping a big tax. You know, where are we going to get the money from? Okay, we'll tax rich people. They do that. And then people who are in Spanish people and people who are living in Spain are now thinking, okay, where do we go now? Okay, Portugal next. We'll go over there. So there's this incredibly dynamic formula, mix of equation going on.
I think that we have the disadvantage of is we don't get the vote unless you become a citizen, of course.
Okay. As part of becoming a Portuguese resident, you don't get to vote.
You don't get the vote. And so when I say that, your voice is not listened to. So the voices that are listened to is the people who didn't get out to vote for them, for whatever reason it might be. Yeah. So, and that's across the world. In most countries, if you're not a citizen, you don't get to vote, and probably rightly so, in those elections or those, whatever it might be. So that's why sometimes the immigration, I'd say, department gets kicked around a little bit, because it sort of raises some eyebrows. I was actually very shocked. You saw what happened in Dublin there a couple of nights ago.
Yes.
And it was a thugs, mainly. They were absolutely thugs. They were they were waiting for something to kick off. And basically it was, you had an immigrant who lived in Ireland for 20 years, who already had a passport for 20 years. So he was Irish.
Yeah.
And but of course he had some mental issues or whatever issues, and he ended up stabbing 3 children and a woman. But what the headlines were across: immigrant stabs 3 children, you know, that kind of way. And this was the whole sort of dynamic and creating this whole anti-immigration thing in Ireland.
Narratives, yeah.
I was very upset about the whole thing, actually.
I'm sure you were.
Because how it was portrayed. Because I'm an immigrant. My kids are immigrants. My wife's an immigrant. You know, so you're an immigrant, and
that's why I take this so seriously. That's why I'm so interested in this, and I wonder sometimes if I'm too interested or too bothered. But it's something we need to keep an eye on. And the other part of the story, Bobby, is the guy who piled in and smacked the guy in the face with his motorbike.
Brazilian.
Was, guess what? An immigrant.
Yeah, Brazilian. Exactly.
Yes, Right.
and saved the day. And actually, they had a
Yeah.
GoFundMe thing, and they got him something like $250,000 to buy him a pint. They had a GoFundMe,
Best
buy this
pint
guy a
ever.
pint.
Best pint
€250,000
ever.
raised. So,
Oh wow! Best thing he
yeah.
ever did, move to Ireland. Right.
But I see it. I actually see the sort of whole things creeping into the social media thing. Like it's Facebook, so whatever, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is. It's training people. Actually, I see it not just giving
It's a
information,
divisive
training
strategy,
people.
and it's awful, but it's been a political strategy for a long time, honestly. And it's the whole thing, them against us, and we are going to be protected from them. So let's vote on this party that's going to protect us from the other side. But that's not how things work. It's not really them against us. It's things can be cooperative and should be cooperative.
Yeah.
I think we're in a and I mean Europe especially. Without trying to but like I see Europe taking a shift towards the right because of past immigration, but also because of the social media. I think the social media is pushing it as sort of how would you say, a narrative of
the problem with social media is that people who make the most noise get visible.
Yes. Yeah. Not always. I make a lot of noise and I don't get the visibility I want, but I get the point. I get the point. And if you stir people's emotions up, it is attractive.
Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah. But the one thing I can say is here, for example, I know we often give out with the socialist sort of side of it, but thank God.
Yeah.
There's a bit of it everywhere, absolutely. So.
Well, I'll keep on then. I mean, I think it's important to have this conversation. And whilst we don't get the vote, and there are good reasons for that, as I think you said, Bobby, we're new to the country and it's probably a privilege you need to work towards. That's not to say we can't have some sort of voice. And that's what I'm keen to bring together is the immigrants of Portugal, 1 in 10 of the population talking to each other in the different immigrant groups and also representing themselves to the government as well, and having the conversations to diffuse that. One of the first conversations we should have as immigrants is with Chega and talk to them about, and to separate. There will be people, I think, attracted to Chega who are attracted to that sort of rhetoric and narrative you're talking about, Anna, and the noise and the emotion of, get the foreigners out, they're putting the prices up and they're doing this, that, and the other. But also, you can understand why some people are attracted when they don't feel listened to and heard. So let's listen to them, let's hear them, and let's have the conversations, is what I say on that. More positively then, looking on to 24, as we might do this morning, and this idea of AI, I'm going to ask both of you, if you were able to influence the AI that might replace Seth or Ima, what would you do? Anna, first.
I would systemize things. So Seth technically has the system, but then the human side and not just the human resources and lack of human resources is awful. So actually, systemizing and digitalizing part of it could work really good. And probably you can keep exactly the same staff, just doing different tasks that would be a lot more meaningful and would actually help people a lot more. So I think actually having a digitalized system for SEF, and actually a lot of public systems, because they're systems and they can be mechanized and turned into technology, and just you still need the people. It's still in most public services, you will still need the people, but things could work a lot better if they just had the goddamn system working.
Bobby?
They can work a lot better if basically they're, how would you say, measured in the sense that, okay, you have to do 100 visas this month, or you have to do 100 whatever this month. There's no measurement. There's no actual overview of the work.
There is no adaptation, no test and measure. That's one of the big problems in governments in general, is that they don't really work like businesses, and they should, because they are serving. It's a service.
But they're, again, for me, they're serving themselves and those around them, rather than and the favoritism that comes into that as well. So I know I kick the civil service a lot, but rightly so. To be honest with you, I'm just not happy with pay. but with what we get.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting value for money at all. And I think if AI could come in and replace them, I think people won't take in AI because they don't want to be replaced. It's that simple. So
well, how about this? You know, we say again, it's like having difficult conversations, isn't it? Having difficult conversations with a political party who you think might not like you as an immigrant. How about having a difficult conversation with civil servants and saying, look, we get it. You've got bills to pay. You've got children to raise. You've got a roof to put over your head. We're not after your job. We would just like the job done better. And they can be two separate things.
And the thing is, in general, public services are completely understaffed. So they actually need things to be taken off their plate.
they're not understaffed. They're not understaffed.
Lot of them
I don't believe they're understaffed. I just don't think they're doing any work. And that's it. I'm serious. That's my experience, is that there's a lot of staff, but they're at home. They're working from home.
Yes.
So there was I think there was a ban not too long ago. Well, it was about 2014. It was something like 7 out, 1 in, because they were so heavy on civil service that basically 7 people had to leave for the hire. There was a hire freeze.
Wow.
So if you wanted to hire somebody else, 7 other people had to leave. But I don't think it was actually implemented, to be honest with you. So I don't know. But
both of you seem to be agreeing that measuring output will be quite a useful thing, and AI is certainly capable of doing that. And as you said, Anna, these are systems, aren't they? These are data in, data out situations where AI could really help. The people don't need to be fired, do they? They can be, eventually they're going to get UBI or something like that, aren't they? So we could take them out of the way. I mean, if they're not happy in their work and they're not doing it very well, that is a problem. And there are ways of dealing with that, aren't there? That can sort of it's stuck together like Velcro, isn't it? We've got a situation where we want people to come to Portugal and invest, for example, and come and work. It's not everyone's an investor. Some people are workers coming in to do the jobs other people don't want to do. And there's a blockage in having them come in. There are hundreds of thousands of cases that might be the metrics you're talking about, Bobby. We need to process 50,000 of those this month and another 50,000 a month after. We can't go on like this with this blockage of low paid staff, low paid
the system
staff.
is not being organized. They need
it's not, is it? It's not. And AI could certainly be a use case for that, could it not?
Yeah, I think we'll see. I can't see them going for it, to be honest with you, because
no. It takes a breakdown, doesn't it, before a breakthrough will come. These things don't happen voluntarily, I suppose. But we are looking at an election. We are looking at a change.
It's not a miracle solution. It's like businesses. You need to make a plan and then get someone to do the plan.
Yeah.
You work for a tech company right now. You go home, you work. They see what's called every key that you've hit, you've stroked, and so on. So they're accountable. They have to show that they were at home working.
Yeah.
Whatever length of time, and the processes they have to do. For example, like, I'm not saying you have to become like a big police guy, but the people, if you have a normal job, you've got stuff you have to do. I'm sure they have things they have to do, but measured and response and needs to happen, I think, to be honest.
Okay, well, let's hope for that in 24. It's certainly going to be an exciting year. We've got dad jokes, the lies we tell our kids, and a few more comments here. There's special birthday dad jokes for you, Bobby. Hello, Carl from Dim. Thanks. No, thanks. Dimash Koblenz is here. Hello, Carl. Hello to you, Dimash. Good to see you here. Sometimes doing nothing leads to the very best of something. Winnie the Pooh, that famous philosopher, on the merits of being lazy. Carl, this Portugal visa is for foreigners who have resided in Portugal for more than 3 years and who have a permanent job. That's not the D2, is it? That's the workers visa, I think, that Dimash might be talking about there. So not the D2 for you, Dimash, I don't think. This is really good advice with ChatGPT. If you can give it can give you clever sounding gibberish. There will still be, and a lot of humans can do that as well. There will still be a need for true interacting human, but it can be a powerful tool too. Yes, it's all about the tools, isn't it, and how we use them. One way to distinguish between ChatGPT and humans is to know how that the happy, positive, and intelligent response is most likely from a machine. Humans tend to be a bit cranky and edgy. Or is that just our relationship, Mrs. Happy belated birthday. No comment. Happy belated birthday, Bobby. And to Anna. Anna's birthday the day before.
Yeah. Apparently we are on a roll.
Yes, we are. I spent 4 days in Kuwait years ago on business. It felt like a month. Oh, I really hope the Kuwait tourism board aren't watching. If they are, I mean, we're available. And so
they don't have one.
Well, A guy used to do it, but he just
Yeah.
continue. I asked my driver to take me to a local Kuwaiti restaurant and was told there's no such thing. Kuwaitis don't run restaurants. That's for foreigners. What a fascinating culture you're going to, Bobby. Spain, France, Italy are looking to abolish the 90-day rule. Portugal could follow. 90-day rules help nobody. It's true, isn't it? And this is what we're seeing. Governments make mistakes, don't they? Like on the go. And then they have to bring in a new law or regulation to fix the last mistake they made. I mean, that's what we're going to see next year. Can I have a concluding thought from each of you on 2024 then? Ladies first. Anna, what do you think? What are your hopes? What do you think might actually happen in 2024?
I actually would really hope and again hope that there is some kind of correction in the government and this situation actually turns a turn for the better and people learning from the past mistakes and making positive changes.
Yeah.
So that's the hope that I have for 2024. When it comes to immigration, like you've been saying, I think Portugal is still a very interesting place and still going to keep being very high rated on the list of places to move. And it would be really, really nice if the political situation just followed things in that way. That's no guarantee of that, but it would be my hope for 2024.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Anna. Bobby?
Thinking.
Well, you've done incredibly well, considering you were up partying until 5 this morning. More of that.
I don't think I could do it. Like,
I think actually
functioning
is going to be. I think it's going to be a bustling year for business and for immigration and for investment and so on. I really do. Like I've got my own sort of business plan for next year is I have a lot of travel on, which I haven't done in a couple of years actually. Is basically going back to where I used to go. But I think we have a lot of exciting opportunities for people and basically bring more investment into Portugal. But yeah, hopefully, like Anna said, I hope that the political situation stabilizes and let's say gets more productive and the CEF alternatives start to get a bit better and so on and so forth, because it's been a disaster for 10 years. So hopefully they can fix that. That's what I'd wish to happen, is that if they can fix the immigration side of it, as in the paperwork and so on, to make life a lot easier for people who are actually moving here or investing here.
Well, we can keep hoping and we can keep having these conversations. And you never know, do you? And I'm with you on this. I think it is going to be a very exciting year because it seems interesting, doesn't it, to me, that the politicians, wittingly or unwittingly, seem to do their best to ruin things. But you can't stop the movement of people, can you? And the wishes of people. It's overwhelming, isn't it? And I think you're right with that. Is the attractiveness of Portugal is so great that despite the government making certain decisions that don't look very advantageous for the future of the country, they're going to be overwhelmed by popular demand, because that's a much bigger force, isn't it? And it has been, certainly for the last few years. Yep.
No, for sure.
Thank you very much to both of you. The lies we tell our kids then, in conclusion: if you touch a frog, you'll get warts. Do they say that in Portuguese as well, Anna?
No, but we do have some, but right now I can't remember any. I'm trying to remember things I was told on my childhood.
What about this?
You can't have a dog. I also remember the whole you have to eat your plate, otherwise because of the starving people in Africa. I think that's a general one.
It is, yeah. And smart kids used to say, well, they can have it. We'll wrap it up and send it over. When I was your age, I never skipped class. Oh, yeah, that would be a lie I would be telling. quite frankly. You too, Bobby? Possibly.
Yeah.
Yes, and you, Anna? I'm not sure. You don't have to say. Those dad jokes, they're very good. You talked about Black Friday before, Anna. What comes after Black Friday? Black Sabbath, of course.
I agree with that.
Yeah. If your head's a bit sore, sorry about the rim shots. This is a bit creepy, this one. I went for a walk with a girl yesterday. When she noticed me, we went for a run. That's awful. We can't help laughing. It's terrible, isn't it? I was in an 80s band called Prevention. It was better than The Cure. That's good. That's a very good note to end on at 10 o'clock. Have a great holiday, everybody. Restoration Day. We didn't even talk about kicking the Spaniards out this morning, but a good reason to keep partying today. Have a great Friday. Have a great holiday. Have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. and welcome to the true festive season on the 1st of December. So we'll be looking forward to.
I have my calendar. I'm going to open my chocolate calendar.
You do that. Does it have alcohol in it? Is it a liqueur chocolate calendar?
No, it's a Kinder one.
Oh, very nice. And Bobby, are you going to try and find an advent calendar with a liqueur?
No, I'll just find the alcohol.
Hair of the dog.
We're putting up the Christmas decorations today, so that'll be fun.
You'll be so helpful in that process.
That was actually a rule in here, is that we would only put the Christmas decorations after my birthday. So that would be a rule of the house.
Same with Bobby then, of course. Yeah. Well, have a good one. Have fun. Take care. Be careful of that step ladder. Ciao, ciao.
Good luck.
Bom dia, Portugal! In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.